Alright, so vlogs for me aren't going to be very common. This is just something that I've picked up, and I figured, okay, well, somebody should say something. I mean, plenty of people have probably said something, but somebody should say something. There is other content coming in the future. My channel isn't going to stay this empty all the time. I've actually got 2 weeks worth of footage at about a video a day right now, so, you know, that's coming. I apologize for the low quality footage in the background. That came from my stream, which is 540p most of the time so that people can actually access it, you know, low bitrate, while you can still actually see what's going on. So, hey, you know, if you want to watch me die constantly and just be a goofball, then my stream is, you know, up fairly regularly, like Monday through Thursday at a regular time at night, and then just whenever the hell else I feel like it. And I apologize if this gets a little long. I'm going to try and edit it and shorten it to be as, you know, well, as short as possible, as brief as possible. So, we're talking about Mei here. That's the whole point to this. Mei is considered in Overwatch to be cancer. She's... okay, she's very frustrating to fight against, right? In most FPS games, you don't have hard CC. You don't have a stun. You don't have a freeze. You don't have something that removes control from the player. It's abhorrent. It's considered just absolutely horrible, right? It's extremely frustrating to deal with. The problem with Mei is that she does all of that. And more. We're talking about she dominates almost any 1v1 encounter. If you're going up against Mei in a 1v1, unless the stars have aligned in your favor, you're probably done from the get-go. You just don't want to go up against her 1v1. She's an executioner. It's what she does. See, problems with her, at least problems that most people play FPS games immediately jump on, the fact that she slows your movement immediately. Like, if she tags you at just the very end of her mouse 1 attack, you've probably already lost the fight unless you think fast, because your speed is already dropped like that, just gone. Most people don't realize, however, when they're raging about her, is that not only does it slow your movement speed, it slows everything else. That includes your mouse sensitivity, so you're aiming, and that also includes your actions, like reloading, or, you know, activating an ult, or activating some other ability. If there's a cast time to it, you may not actually be able to get it off before she gets you. Another problem with her is that her freeze has a fairly decent duration on top of that slowdown, and it's a repeatable hard CC. It's not that it's on a cool... well, I mean, technically it's on a cooldown, but it's not really on a cooldown because she just keeps doing it. If she didn't kill you with the first one, she'll do it again, and she'll do it again, and she'll do it again. And it doesn't help that her projectile can headshot, which is how she executes. She'll just stand right in front of you and done, you know, your history. Her projectile has no distance drop. It flies in a straight line wherever you aim it. It does, however, have a damage fall off. However, because it can get headshots, it's still particularly nasty, even at long ranges. She has the ability to wall. She can divide map sections up, divide teams up, block line of sight. This is one that most people don't notice, is boost allies into locations that they normally wouldn't be able to get. Torbjorn, Bastion, that sort of thing, you know, get them up above. She can also go to unexpected places, obviously, for the same reason. She can just boost herself up. So watching the corners around you, not always going to work because she may just come from above. She has 250 health, which is a concern of its own, just because of, you know, how much damage everything does, headshots, that sort of thing. And on top of that, because that large section of health is improved by the fact that not only can she go invulnerable, but she can also self-heal. And smart Meis, while they're invulnerable and self-healing, will do it around the same time that they can pop a wall. So not only did they just avoid you executing them, and get a whole bunch of health back, I think it's like 100 or 150, I'm not sure on the exact number, but then they'll also pop a wall between you and them immediately afterwards, if they really think they can't win the fight, and they'll just bail out. So, what can be changed here? Probably not very much, to be honest. Blizzard most likely wants to go into esports with Overwatch. I mean, they want to do esports with, well, StarCraft already has esports. They're doing esports with Heroes of the Storm. It's logical that Overwatch is going to be that next step. You know, once they get the ranked mode out, people will be able to play around with that, and the ranked mode will prepare people for a competitive scene, which the competitive scene has already been happening. It's just, you know, it's been during the betas and that sort of thing. However, here's the issue. Because they want to go to esports, they're going to be balancing around the esports. Mei has low overall damage, which I'm going to throw a picture up about that. She has the lowest DPS in the game, unless she's getting headshots, which, you know, that's her strength. Her burst is high if she can lock you down, 1v1. However, she's also the lowest ranking hero in the current competitive scene. She's actually down there, another picture, but she's actually down there with Hanzo, surprisingly enough, in case you've ever screamed about Hanzo's BS. Bastion, same thing, Bastion BS. All of these characters that you'll notice that are in the bottom of the competitive scene are pub stompers. There are a lot of characters that will show in that lowest ranking competitive area that just absolutely destroy in pub games. So why don't they work in competitive? Because they have very clear weaknesses that can be handled by a coordinated communicating team, which you may notice that if you run into a pub match and just get absolutely destroyed, or, you know, on the other side, you'll just absolutely destroy. 9 times out of 10, it's because there's a lot of communication going on. People are paying attention. They're calling things out. But in the meantime, the community has suggested quite a few changes to Mei to try and balance her out. I mean, a lot of other heroes as well, but Mei in particular, reduce her health to 200, which would make her easier to kill and give her less time to pop her invulnerability. Shorten her freeze range is another thing. Lower the amount of slow that happens, or at least, you know, increase the required time to freeze so that there's more time to react to her. The problem with that is because Blizzard wants to do esports, you're not likely to see nerfs. You're more than likely going to see buffs or, you know, style changes. That is a problem in itself because she's still stomping in pub games in quick match. Blizzard knows this. They're well aware of this, which is why I'm leaning towards the side of style changes. They're probably going to try and tweak her playstyle to be more friendly to pub games while at the same time having, you know, the competitive capabilities. The community also often suggests on the other side of it is just stay away from her. You know, just avoid her entirely. No, you can't do that. It's impossible. Unless you're playing certain characters like, say, Pharah, or other people who can, you know, make their own path. Hanzo, Genji, that sort of thing. People who can get up high and away from her in places that she can't get to. Even then, she could still snipe you. But staying away from her doesn't really work, because a lot of maps not only have, you know, side flanking passages, which are tight, which that's where, you know, the Mei Shark roams, but they also, even on the objective, have required choke points and blind corners and plenty of places where she can hide without being caught. She can set up ambushes and that sort of thing. So staying away from her is not really an option either. You're going to have to deal with her, particularly when she gets her ult, which she'll get her ult really damn fast. If she's actually doing her job properly, it only takes a few people frozen to get her ult. It's pretty quick. So what can you do about it? You have to know her weaknesses. See, I'm super frustrated playing against Mei's as well, but there's some things that I do to try and, you know, actually handle her. For one, knowing that there's an enemy Mei flanking is a big deal in the first place. Call it out if you can. Even if you don't have a mic, type it out in chat. If you die, remind people every so often, hey, Mei is still lurking around, right? Knowledge is power, especially in a team-based game like Overwatch. People keeping an eye out, looking over their shoulder, is one of the most powerful things in the game. You know, right up there with wall hacks, which, you know, Hanzo, Widow, hey, it's built in, right? But If you're having a problem dealing with Mei, say you're playing one of the flanker characters, and you're just running into her constantly, switch. Switch to something safer. Just do it. I mean, you may want to play your one character. You may want to play that specific person, but if it's not working, as much as you want to play that character, it's not going to be fun for you. Because you're just going to get continuously wiped over and over and over and over, and that's no fun for anybody. Listening for footsteps is also a good thing. Stop. Actually pay attention, especially if you're playing, I mean, if you're in the middle of things, it's not going to work so well. But if you're playing as a flanker, every so often, just stop and wait. Mei's will do this as well, because it's just a flanker thing, but it's good to remind people regardless. Stop, wait, and listen. Every character has their own unique footsteps. It's a different tone, you know, it's higher or lower in pitch, different speeds. You can, if you pay enough attention and you're really trying to learn this, you can figure out who's coming at you just by the general ambient sounds and their footsteps. And that can be really important, because if you're playing a character that can't handle Mei very well, but you're still trying to flank, knowing that she's coming is very important. Again, you know, calling things out. You have to know. Knowledge is power. But if you don't want to switch, you don't want to listen for footsteps, you just want to straight play, she has some counters, you know, some work better than others. Hard counters include McCree, for obvious reasons, only if his stun bomb is up. But McCree generally tries to not engage unless his stun bomb is up. That's just part of his playstyle. So if you're flanking, play as McCree. McCree is already really good to begin with, so why the hell not, right? Zarya is also another good one. Zarya's shield will wipe all freeze, all slow, everything. It just immediately gone. So if Zarya can see you, she may pop her shield on you. If you're playing as Zarya, also a good reason, because Zarya has enough damage, she could pop her shield. Mei is either going to run, or keep firing, or blockade, or something. Either way, you know, you've handled the problem. Mei is going to turn around. If she keeps firing, she's going to boost you up, because, you know, Zarya's damage boosts based on her shield damage. So, she's not going to do a very good job with that fight. That she has to freeze you multiple times to kill you anyway. Soft counters. These soft counters work alright against her on your terms. The problem is, if she has her wall up, or her invulnerability up, it's probably not going to work as well. But they still do a decent job. Junkrat, for instance, Junkrat can throw his trap down. You may not realize that if you throw your trap down at Mei's feet while she's ice blocked, she'll immediately be snapped by it. So throw your trap down, throw your concussion mine down, and time it. Try to time it, because if she sees this happening, she's probably going to stay ice blocked for as long as possible, thinking that she needs to survive. So time it as best as you can, and then start chucking bombs. If you do it right, she'll be snapped in, bombs will already be flying in her face, and you can activate your concussion if she walls, or, you know, if you just want to get the execution quickly. Pharah. Pharah is an excellent soft counter, but still soft. Pharah can fly up above. Pharah can get to places that Mei can't. Pharah is one of Mei's worst nightmares, because Mei can't do much of anything against Pharah beyond just throwing a wall up. So, Pharah, learn how to use her. She's very good in many situations. Fighting that annoying Mei is just one of them. Widowmaker is another very good one, because Widowmaker can fire from any distance as long as she can see it, and headshots. Now, as far as I know, one headshot will not kill Mei. However, one headshot will cause Mei to panic and probably invul up, or at least dive for the nearest corner or cover or something. If she invuls up, you can just keep your aim on her, because as soon as she pops out, you have, I mean, if she's not a very smart Mei, you'll have a chance to get another headshot. That second headshot probably will kill her. So, take that shot while you can, because she's a soft counter, as a wall can go up, and then, ta-da, you know, once again, your view is blocked, Unlike Junkrat, who can fire over it, or Pharah, who can jump over it, Widow is just straight blocked. So, do what you can. However, Widow also has the advantage of her ult, being able to see Mei coming in the first place. So, again, like so much, like I said before, and so much in Overwatch, knowledge is power. So, the wall hacks can be your most important tool. Most people also don't realize that movement skills will reset the slow from Mei's primary attack. We're talking stuff like Tracer's dash, Winston's jump, McCree's roll, Pharah's leap, Mercy's fly, Reaper's ghost form, Reinhardt's charge, Diva's charge, Genji's slash, Junkrat can even use his concussion mine to get out of the way. Soldier 76 doesn't count, Lucio's speed boost doesn't count either, but regardless, characters that have movement skills that are incredibly useful, use them, because they'll reset the freeze on you. Well, they'll reset the slow on you, not the freeze, but you know what I mean. The most important thing, though, when dealing with a Mei, make her fight you on your terms. That can mean that even if you're playing a flanker character, stay near your team. Because staying near your team means that you can gang up on her. Mei only works on one character at a time. She can slow multiple people, but she can only focus enough on a single person to get that freeze down. So while she freezes one person, if she has the rest of the team dumping on her, she's not going to be able to get anything done, right? Stay with your team. It's a team-based game anyway, even if you're playing a flanker character. Every so often, you're going to want to sit on the point. You're going to want to stay near the point. You're going to want to get on the escort. Anything. If you're having problems with Mei, take it under control yourself. Don't keep running into her terms. Ultimately, it's in your hands. Everything about this matchup is in your hands. You have to let her engage you. If you're trying to 1v1 her, even if you're playing as McCree or Zarya, it's still a crapshoot. The game is designed around hero switching. So if you're getting frustrated because you cannot force your way through those flanks, well, she's doing her job properly. That's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to block you. Everything about her is intended to block the enemy team and stop them from doing whatever they need to do, right? She can keep the flanks safe by freezing anybody who comes through there and killing them off. She can block projectiles, block whole sections of the map. She can create her own corridors and her own flanks by using her wall. She can stop a cap or hold a cap for longer until her team comes back by using her invulnerability. She can deny very large areas of the map with her ult, which she gets relatively quickly as long as she's continuously freezing people. She's a monster. She's denial. She's all about denial. Again, the game is designed around hero switching. If one method isn't working, even if you're not dealing with Mei, even if this is just in general, if one method isn't working, one character isn't working, find something else. Switch off. It's not worth the frustration. You're not actually being useful if you're not able to do what you need to do. Now, that doesn't mean switch off when you have ult or almost full ult, because, you know, try to at least blow your ult and then switch on the next life, because even, you know, one kill or one denial with your ult is still useful. But ultimately, just don't forget to switch. Overwatch is all about switching. It's designed around switching. And particularly when dealing with Mei, sometimes a switch is the best thing you can do. So hey, if you like the video, you like the advice, you've heard it all before, you know what to do, and I'll catch you guys next time.